Clearly, the strategic environment is changing, so too must our strategy. We must understand the environment in which we operate, and we must understand when it changes before we adjust our tactics. While the last few weeks have been as unpredictable as they have been challenging, now is not the time for passivity. The stakes are much too high for Israel, for the Palestinians, for the region, and without fear of exaggeration, for the world that we all live in. And that is a peace process that shows some promise of near-term progress. To me, this is the one thing that could have the local, regional, and global impact that is now a matter of urgent necessity. The status quo in the relative term and in the near term is not in Israel's interest, nor is it in the regional interest. The demographics, the political situation of a failed peace process undermines Arab moderates. Economic constraints will result in economic development that incites the young and hopeless class that is seeking to have a better future. Along security matters, historically, the walls that have been built have proven themselves to be temporary solutions, certainly a respite from suicide bombers, but not from rockets. An Iran that could be empowered. The Middle East peace process is the one thing, and most definitely the one thing that it does not want. But the continued and growing isolation of Israel is a real concern. The number of countries that might ultimately recognize Palestine might exceed the number of countries that recognize Israel, which is certainly not a desirable outcome. In Munich, the question was asked regarding whether the Israeli Prime Minister and the leader of the Palestinian Authority, President Abbas, were sincere in their support for peace and a two-state solution. And while it was generally agreed that they were, there were certainly some skeptics out there in the public. Threats to Israel are increasing, as is the conflict potential. Moderate Arab support could diminish in the near future if peace is not seen to be an achievable objective. And the rising economic impact in the wake of failed peace efforts doesn't need much explanation. Thirdly, the benefit to Iran of continued Arab-Israeli dispute strengthens and amplifies its appeal, the appeal of its message to the oppressed and those who feel that they have no future. Tehran fears resolution of this conflict and benefits by the divided attention of the global community. Three functional pillars that must be working hand in hand are security, governance and rule of law, and rising economic expectations. When those three things work together, anything is possible, especially in defeating insurgencies. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the crossroads of important decisions that will affect our security and our stability for a long time to come. It seems to me we have two paths to choose from. One is the status quo. Maybe some prefer this choice. I submit that it will lead to rising tensions, greater conflict, and increased isolation for the state of Israel. And it will lead to increased economic burden on the state of Israel as well. It will make peace much harder, and it will take much longer to achieve it. And it will also adversely affect regional and global security. Clear progress towards a two-state solution is the only alternative. This is the one thing extremists do not want, and especially Iran.